Welcome, race fans. Episode 8, Watermelons and Woodchips, presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance. And back in the studio here at the IMCA TV studios at Boone Speedway. Josh Reynolds to my right, Jonathan Logue on the end, and the Big L is in the house.
Big L.
I think I'm
Logan.
the only one that's been talked about on every podcast so far, so here we are.
Logan Kelly, the man that controls the flag stand and whips the sticks and all the things. Sees me lose my mind in a driver's meeting.
I enjoy it when you do that because then I don't have to be the bad guy all the time.
I believe the word's asshole.
I just actually heard that snippet on the way in here. So from the
that
one
was
that's airing right
that
now.
was a true story.
That was.
Well, just kicking it off with you, Logan. We're glad to have you here, and some people might not be glad to have you here. The guy that races down there on the end, but I think he likes you. I don't know.
I like Logan. I've had some serious sign language conversations with him while he's on the stand, but and I've never came over to the flag stand during an event, even though there's been multiple times. But no, I think that the Big L has stepped in. You know, I didn't even realize when he first started coming to the Boone Speedway, he's driving 2 freaking hours.
2.5.
2.5. Sorry, 2.5
each way.
You know, yeah, to come down here and flag. You know, and I didn't. You know, Logan. I got a couple of questions for the Big L today because I kind of grew up in where he started flagging or what, and I didn't even know that. Like. Racing at Hancock County Speedway last time we were at the Algona. I can't ever say Kossuth.
I
I
almost
murder
said
that.
something else.
Yeah. I murder it every time. So I'm just going to go ahead and just say Algona all the time. But I heard a voice over the race receiver that I hadn't heard in a long time. And the first place that I started hearing that was at the Hancock County Speedway when I was started racing up there. So, yeah, we get along good. Like, we always have...
I black flagged you?
Oh, I think
there's been one night here. Was it the night you and Doug Smith got into it in the infield, or was that a different night?
That was a different night. That was... I lost my cool, and me and Doug had some choice words, and, everybody's like, oh, you were punching him, blah, blah, blah. Well, he had his helmet on, first of all.
Right.
Okay. And the reason I leaned into the race car because he had his helmet on, his car was running. And I just told him how I felt about the situation on the racetrack. Mm-hmm. And he ripped my hat off my head. And that was a sponsor given hat to me that had passed away. Which, Doug, I know you still have it. You were snitched out by a family member. I know you still have the hat.
Oh, Doug.
Which I appreciate that you have the hat and it's a conversation piece in your garage, but I really would like to have that back because it was sentimental to me, Sure. And then I went over to Cody and was explaining.
I was in the middle of this whole thing.
Yeah, I was explaining to him why I was upset and why there was no black flag because it was a slide job deal.
Oh, Jesus, we're going to start that already? Talking about Doug Smith and sliders? Great.
Well, yes, because I'm actually answering your question here. So then I'm down there wailing my arms around talking to Cody about how, where's the black flag? We're talking about these bad slide job deals. And all of a sudden, this guy comes out of left field, Toby Smith, and just cleans me clean off of my feet.
Sure
and
did.
I fly backwards.
It was like, okay, so let me paint the picture from my perspective. So I'm standing there and I'm like, I have my hand on Jonathan's shoulder, because he's, talking with his hands.
Telling me to calm down.
I'm like, hey, it's fine. Just chill the out. You're fine. And, got my hand here. And then all of a sudden, my hand is still in the air and there's nobody there.
Well, I didn't even see it coming.
No.
I had no idea.
I could see that on the video.
Well, see, and let's make
It
this
was
clear.
like a cartoon.
Yeah.
It was just
Kinda.
Literally. So, let's be clear. That was going to be my first modified feature win at Boone Speedway. Mm-hmm. And I had led this thing and was checked out, gone, And I think a couple weeks prior to that, I hit a lapper that spun out. Well, excuse me, hold on. He was broke. He went in. He went to turn the car. He was kind of maintaining, doing his own thing. And his left front upper A-frame was broke. I actually talked to the guy. But I went in and just smoked him. Mm. And I was so mad at Logan because I'm thinking the whole time in the car, I'm like, where's the I mean, this guy's left front's broke. And I was just, revved up. Well, so then when that whole Doug thing happened, I got knocked off my feet, and I was just like, man, done and over with. I'm going to walk over to my stock car, and I'm going to kick everybody's ass in this next race. And I put a spanking on them.
I forgot. Yeah, you did. You
Killed
their
them.
ass.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so mad.
Because the interview was awesome.
Yeah. And so that
We need to
is
find that.
what
Yeah, we
happened there with the whole Doug Smith thing. And, we've talked about it in prior stuff. Me and Doug are just like magnets, and we just have these little tussles and arguments and stuff. And then, a couple weeks go by, and we'll have a Marble Light over on the fence and kind of side eye each other and look at each other. And then a week later, we're like 4 foot closer on the fence, or somebody, and we always overcome those things, which I'm grateful for that. The Smith family, a big part of the Boone Speedway here, but yeah. So that's Logan and I have a good relationship, and I think he does a good job. But there's a lot of things that we're going to talk about today that we're going to change on that flag stand. If I had anything to say about it,
I feel
Can
like
you build me a new flag stand?
Well, we got to do that. Yeah.
well, first of all, we might. We talked about this at Super Nationals. We're either going to back you away from the dinner table, or we're going to cut out that little thing area to where you can like lean out a little bit further.
Yes.
Because I've noticed on the hand signals you've been f***ing that up a little bit, and they've gotten harder to read since the taller flag stand.
The flag stand is 6 inches too tall.
Okay.
And it's 2 foot too long.
Okay, Garrett, note that 6 inches too long or tall, and
I know, yeah.
6 inches too long.
I know, I
2
thought it-
foot too long.
Oh, 2 foot too long.
Oh,
Not 6'7". None of
that's
that
what I
bullshit.
was waiting for.
We talked
That's
about
so
it.
f***ing annoying.
Yeah,
My
it
kid
is.
does that shit all the time.
Really?
Oh my God. He's 6 years old and doing that shit.
Yeah.
When I do it in front of my kids, they just shake their head. They're sad.
Yeah. Well,
Emily started kicking kids out of the classroom for doing it.
Yeah.
last week go to Norwalk for a wrestling meet, and we're in there, and they got all the brackets labeled or numbered. We get to 6'7", and I'm like, this lady literally, they start flashing the lights, and they're like, and up next on mat 3, it's 6'7", and I'm just like, and the whole place erupts. I'm not shitting you. The kids are going crazy. They're flashing the lights and stuff, and I'm looking around like, people are engaging in this.
Yeah.
Like, it's a thing. And, like, it was not, they didn't just say it one time.
Well,
they
look
said
at-
it multiple times.
Look at our dumbasses. We've talked about it every episode.
Yes.
We're 8 weeks into this thing now. And
Right.
I brought it up
Yeah.
every week.
Right.
It's, I mean, you got NASCAR people doing it. You got late modelers doing it. I mean, it's
yeah.
like this weird, funny thing.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
But, yeah, back to the flag stand
Yep.
thing. We're going to have to do a little work on that. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Colby Fett doing a number on that unit.
You know, you see cars get into the wall on the front stretch, and not so much anymore that the guardrail's not there. You know, back in the day with the guardrail, it was just a ticking time bomb. If it's going to get taken out at some point,
Yeah.
we really haven't had too much of an issue besides Mike Smith and who was it? Mike Smith, Jimmy
Brandon-
Johnson, Brandon Nielsen that year.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You know, that got pretty close for Nick. And this year, you know, Colby, I seen him coming, and he got in there, and it's like, whatever. And it's like from me to G Money away here, and it's like, oh shit, he's gonna hit the flag stand. Get out of there.
I was sitting up next to you when that happened. We were up in the tower watching. I'm like, you better get back.
Yeah.
Well, the worst
You
part
did.
is it was the first race after a farm session, so there's nobody in the infield yet. So then my
Oh,
fat
yeah.
ass had to get down and run to the car to make sure he was okay.
And you did. You did a
Right.
good
Big
job.
guy can move when I need to.
You were down there fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On it.
Yeah.
Needed the ambulance to come give me oxygen.
Yeah,
Jesus.
the getting back up was the.
He's
was the-
he's going to pick up 2/10 when we get him them new flag pants.
Emily's already conspiring, so she's already working on it.
Yeah, and can we talk about support systems? You've got one of the best ones
do.
out there. She
Puts up with a lot.
so well.
Yeah.
You just married her.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
will. Yeah, thanks to all you assholes for showing up to the wedding. I appreciate that. She
can't-
did tell me that she was going to Venmo request all of you $22 for the meal that you didn't eat. So,
Understood.
Yep.
I get it.
Send the bill.
I
but
get it.
no, in all seriousness, she puts up with a lot. You know, I'm down here today. I took a day off of work to come do this, and she knows starting in April, every Saturday, pretty much throughout the summer, we're going to be traveling 2.5 hours each way. So we leave town at noon, 1 o'clock. And it pretty much kills the whole weekend, right? But yeah, I've been lucky enough to get in a position with Boone Speedway, with IMCA, to be able to come back and do that every week. And as long as you guys keep having me here, that's one that we're going to keep doing. You know, we have racetracks that are closer to home that she would rather me probably. You know, hey, Algona's only an hour. Kasuth County is only an hour. But Boone is Boone, and I have made that abundantly clear to her. And she's formed relationships with people here at the racetrack too. And so I think whether whether Emily admits it or not, she enjoys coming down here on Saturdays for the most part. No,
just to hang out with Colton, probably.
She was really worried about that this summer because it was always Grant, right?
Oh, yeah.
And she's known Grant longer than Colton, and it's like, it's this new guy. And,
Yeah.
After he got rid of the big dip in his mouth, she took to that a little more kindly. But
once the old hog lippers were gone,
right?
God, yeah, I loved it. It's just weird to see him now with a couple of zins.
Couple of Z, yeah, I know.
Jeez, bud.
Right? Yeah. So we've had conversations about Colton and Logan starting their own podcast. And what were you going to call it?
It's going to be the Playing Favorites podcast, and we're just going to talk shit every week about what happened at the racetracks that we were at together or separate.
I mean,
it's awesome.
I think it'd be fun.
It'd be funny.
Now that none of us in the official side play favorites, right? We we have relationships that we build.
We joke that we do.
Joke that we do, and it's
I was told very sternly by one of Logan's biggest fans that he was a washed up. I don't know why you would hire some dumb washed up Hornet driver to run your races for you.
Wow.
Yeah. That was what I was told, and I'm like,
was that like the third or fourth time he black flagged his kid this summer, or
probably.
Or no, we didn't black flag the kid. He got ran over every week, and it was always somebody else's fault.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think he got spun out or something, but
I think he spun himself out off the nose of a car.
I'm not 100%
shots
sure.
fired.
but
flagmans can have opinions too. I guess.
Oh, I love it. I love it. See, that was the thing. Like we talked about Big Bill, and that's kind of what Nick Brooklanders, I don't know how long he flagged here after. I can't remember. When was it that Bill quit flagging here? Does anybody know?
Mid 2000s, right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Because then I believe Nick flagged until 2015-ish, and then he moved to the cities. Grant flagged for a couple years, and then.
So how'd you get the call?
So it actually started at Super Nationals, and 2015 was my first year flagging. For the most part, I flagged one night with Grant before that in Mason City in like 2008 because it was too windy for Grant to flag that night. He sat up in the booth and ran the receiver, and Jerry was announcing that night, and they're like, "You're flagging, have fun in the 30-mile-an-hour wind."
Okay,
and that was your opportunity.
That was where we started, and then
wow.
Grant had flagged Algona for a long time. Algona, Mason City, Fairmont when Ringsdorf was running those places. Joe retired, moved away. And that left Algona moving from Saturdays to Thursdays. And Grant couldn't do it on Thursdays. He recommended that they call me in 2015. And that was where it started. And then I ended up filling in an Elta a little bit that year. Started flagging the Beaver. Started flagging at my hometown track in Fairmont that year in 2015. And then I'd been coming to Super National since I was like 8 years old, right?
I wonder if you were flagging. We went up there to Fairmont. My dad used to race up there. They used to have the mod car series and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So back when I was a little kid, like 6, 7 years old, not even, damn it, I hated that I even did that. That wasn't even on purpose. Shit.
Sure it wasn't.
Toby Cruz flagged Fairmont for quite a while.
Toby was good on the stand.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Toby was a show.
So
he was.
I flagged hot laps with Toby every week in Fairmont the whole time that he flagged there when I was a little kid, right? So that's the first experience holding a flag is with Toby Cruz, which is pretty cool.
So do you close your eyes and you can see him flag and you like picked up some of his moves?
Hey, now hold on.
I don't shake my ass the way him or Grant did.
I was just going to say, nobody shook the sticks like Toby Cruz.
Well, and I had a similar experience because when I was like in high school, I used to go up and flag with him at Alta every Wednesday.
Right.
So I'd go flag. He would flag the modifieds and the stock cars, and I'd flag everything else. And that's how I got started flagging. I flagged, I think, two years up there.
Baby.
So when I need to go away for a weekend, you can flag for me.
Ooh.
Or are we going to put Rod on the sticks? And you in a tractor?
We'll rock, paper, scissors for it.
But no, that same summer, 2015, we came down to Super Nationals, and we were camped out in the back 40. And when you're younger at Super Nationals, you come down, you drink for the week. That's what you did. I got a text from Grant at like 9:30 Thursday morning. Don't drink today, and put an official shirt on. Okay. So I came up and I was just the backup guy. You know, we had 2 people on the flag stand all the time then, so I was just handing flags and happy to be there. You know, I probably had wood the whole time I was in the flag stand. Oh God, this is so cool.
Well, it is the biggest event of the year. You know, I mean, I understand.
You know, and Grant famously jumps off the flag stand and gets debris on the front stretch and tries to get hit by race cars. And he did that in the one heat race. I was backing him up. It was a stock car race, and bumper came off a car, and he jumped out on the front stretch to grab it. And that was filled with lead.
Oh.
So it was a lot heavier than Grant expected it to, so he ended up just dragging it to the infield. So I got to finish that race. David Moriarty won that stock car race, by the way. I'll remember that one.
That's awesome.
That's a good memory.
That is cool that you remember that.
We kind of got started at Super Nationals that way, and then got asked to come back the next year. And then in 2017, we were here. 2018, I started flagging weekly here.
Yep.
It was kind of every other week with Wes.
Really?
It was kind of every other week with Wes for a while there, and then in
that's right.
2019,
Wes White, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember. I forgot about
So
Wes
then-
flagging here for
Big
a
Wes.
while.
Yeah. So then in 2019, I took over as the weekly guy, and we've been sailing every Saturday ever since.
So you and Josh went full time the same year then?
I believe so. Yeah.
Essentially.
Yep.
Because my first full. I mean, I announced in 2017. So then you were.
I also announced in 2017 one night with you.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot
Tony Hoffbauer
about.
tore the right side off his car, and I asked if that would be considered assault because it was the assault car. I thought I was the funniest sumbitch on the property at that point.
I forgot we did that because
It was either me announce and Grant flag or vice versa.
Yes.
And Grant did not want to announce.
yes, what? Because I was I here too?
You ended up showing up late.
Okay. Yep. And then we ended up going. We ended up going together,
Right.
Because
For
Jerry
the features. Jerry was
gone
somewhere, yeah.
So then, you're right. I forgot.
So
that we
I
did
have
that.
announced a race at Boone Speedway as well.
Wow.
It really is the Toby Cruz
Have
thing.
you driven a race?
I
at
have.
Boone
I finished
Speedway?
19th in a hobby stock feature in 2020. Here.
Okay.
My one and only
Well, the
race
only
at
thing you have
Boone
left to do
Speedway.
is a fry a tenderloin. You pretty much been around the whole damn
Hey,
place.
we can make
Do
that
not
happen.
put me in the concession stand.
we can make that happen.
I do know a person.
I bet you do. But no, that's
Turns out we got the guy that makes the schedule for the concession
Sorry,
stand
Logan,
workers
you're not
right
flagging
here.
this year.
We're calling Zach down for a race. We need you to fry.
Perfect. Wonderful.
Yeah, fried Oreos taste fucking weird today, right?
Fry a tenderloin, sell some T-shirts with Holly. You've pretty much been all around.
Yeah, we cover the bases, right? Well rounded.
That's awesome. Well, and like anything else that happens at this place, you come here and you do a good job, they usually have you stick around.
You know, that's why I told Emily, and we've talked about it before. I said, as long as they keep having me back, I'm not gonna give it up. So until somebody tells me not to show up in April, I'm gonna keep showing up in April. And if I show up and there's somebody else with flags here, I'll just sit and drink beer, I guess. But although I would like to transition at some point off of the flag stand into that race director role, like I did at Marshalltown a couple weeks ago, so I can yell at the guys on the radio when they don't listen, or when they step on their wiener going into turn 1 on the first lap in the heat race. Or,
Jonathan, did his radio thump over
No.
there?
No.
Really?
But I could hear it on my radio when Colton would get on. It would thump in mine too.
Maybe it's just in his
Man,
throat.
no, it's definitely the radio. Like, I can be sitting and staging and just be just like, oh man, it just drives me nuts. It does.
So if all of a sudden Jonathan's not listening on the receiver, just know I unhooked the sumbitch.
Right. Well, and then he got on there and was like, 69, if you have your transponder, your wired transponder, which I did have a wired transponder. It took a shit, so I bought a battery powered one. I just forgot to put it on. I'm like, I reach up and hit the switch, and I'm like, you idiot. It's in the trailer. It just came to me at that point. I'm like, we're turning 12 on this one with no timing here. And we went out and we go down into turn 1 and 2. And I mean, did we talk about it last cast?
You did.
Yeah.
I think you might have blamed Randy Brands.
No, Randy Brands. I actually he messaged me and was like, dude, I'm like, Randy, I'm sorry. Like, did not mean to smash the 2-time like that. He's like, he was one of the guys that I liked growing up to watch. You know?
That's what happened. Is your eyes got big? You got
No,
down there like Randy.
No, I actually like those people. I just race them as hard as I can race them
Yeah.
without running into them. I usually hit them multiple times, but it's
why I
like,
got
The
fenders.
front end of your car says so.
oh, it was terrible.
It was toast.
It was bad. But yeah, I messaged him. I'm like, sorry, bud. You know, and he's like, no big deal. He goes, I just, we were trying to miss Rod, and it was like one of them Cole Trickle moments where you're like thinking, I'm going to make it, and then I didn't make it.
Driving through the smoke, Harry.
Yeah, right. Oh, I was on the gas. But, I just burped. Yeah. Sorry. What do you do? I'm not getting a bellyache for you guys. Kick rocks. So you started. You're still currently flagging, not just at the Boone Speedway, but you're at Algona. Are you still doing that, like the weekly stuff?
Yeah, still at Algona.
Fairmont, any?
Well, Fairmont made, in my opinion, a poor decision a few years ago, but it's a real son of a bitch to have a racetrack in your hometown that you don't attend because they chose to go with the wrong 4 letters.
I didn't
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. I mean, Hey, let's be honest here, okay? I'm gonna because like last week when Cody was talking about this one guy that they used to take out all the time, and I'm like, just say his name. Who is it? Who was it? And he spits it out, and I totally forgot about Don Viss racing.
Yeah,
because he hasn't raced. Well, he retired a couple of years ago. Or whatever, but those stories is what make racing what it is. Places, there's some tracks around here that have also made that switch, and I think that those tracks are still going. They're still having some events, and some of us guys, IMCA guys, go to those racetracks for some of their big events. Does it suck? Yeah, I believe so, because last time I raced at Fairmont, it was an IMCA sanctioned track.
Yeah, I think that was up through, I think this was the 3rd year they were not IMCA sanctioned.
Sounds right.
Yeah. I think 3rd or 4th, and yeah, it's just I am full in with IMCA, right? I consider myself, not necessarily an IMCA employee, but I work for IMCA, right? I go to Algona, that's an IMCA track. I come here, that's I mean, it's IMCA, right? I have a hat on, for Christ's sake. Nobody paid me to wear it. I paid for the hat.
It's a nice hat, actually.
This isn't the Super Nationals one you got me.
I'm
Just
a little
remember
disappointed
that.
that's not up.
Yeah, that was
on
sitting
your
in
head.
Emily's car when she went to work this morning. I'm like, damn it.
She just wants to remember me. It's
I
fine.
think so. Well,
It's all right.
You weren't at the wedding to dance with her, so maybe next weekend.
I might see her.
We'll
might see her this weekend.
We'll be there. I should book a hotel for that.
You should. That'd be a good idea.
Man, I got to be good because, we have a wrestling tournament on Sunday morning. I've already talked to Josh. I'm like,
Oh, you're going to go to that wedding?
It's only 25 minutes from my house, that one.
I drive 2.5 hours once a week to see you.
Oh, he's getting married this
Forklift.
weekend.
Yeah, Johnny Forklift's getting married this weekend. He's hitching up. So,
Johnny.
yeah.
But no, the Fairmont going USRA thing, that sucked for me, right? Because that's home. I've lived in Fairmont my whole life.
Yep.
I've been going to the racetrack there since I was 2 months old. My parents took me to my first race there. And when they switched, I pretty much was gone, right? And I see you pointing at the clock already, and I know we
didn't start the
late.
timer. We didn't start the timer. We're good.
We'll
But,
start for the
good.
next one.
I stick with the IMCA stuff as much as we can, and I did build one of those Crown Vic things last year to dick around with a little bit, and I ran it 2 nights and went, nope, that's enough of that.
That's
And,
a big thing going
So
on everywhere.
I sold that.
It
That's
is.
down the road, and we're just gonna concentrate on flagging races.
I do think you're going to have to send G a picture of that Crown Vic because they need to see the hood. The sponsor on the hood was
I'll send a picture.
fantastic.
That was good. That was just a
Yeah.
little.
That probably got a little attention.
Well, there's a lot of the thing that I was getting at there is IMCA is the biggest sanctioning body in the United States. Well, world.
Oldest.
Oldest,
Yes.
longest running.
Yep.
Most support.
Most participants.
Most participants out of any other sanction. That's not a jab at any other sanction. There's just places like you go out. When we went out to Eldora for the Dirt Track Championship, they know what IMCA is.
Right.
They might not know what and USRA too. USRA has been around for a long time, so a lot of people know what those are. But there are other sanctions in different states that are just kind of their own little thing. Like Gordon French, they've got a track out there that they run that's not an IMCA sanction, but they follow a lot of the procedures that IMCA does, but it's like their own little thing.
Yeah.
Which those are good because they, in my opinion, we can run at some of those shows. IMCA car can pretty much run at about any, NASCAR, USRA, open stuff.
Most of that is because, and I just, off just a general statement, most of those tracks copy the IMCA rules.
Correct.
But again, the success of IMCA is the rules, in my opinion, is it gives a guy a chance to drive all the way to Oregon and race, do what Ethan Broxma, drive
Right.
all the way out there and kick some tail.
Correct.
Go down to California, Arizona. I mean, basically all the corners of the United States, and have a fair shot at running, and winning.
Well, and I talk about it all the time right here in Boone, Iowa. You are 2 to 3 hours from 15 different tracks you can
Right.
race at.
Yeah. A lot of
You
choices.
can't say that about any of the other sanctioning bodies.
Well, that's why
And that's
there's-
not a jab at them. I'm
Right.
just saying.
Well,
like,
that's why you see a lot of those West Coast transplants come.
Right.
They'll buy a house in Boone, or they'll, like Zach Madrid bought a house in Boone.
Correct.
Tim
his
Moore
wife's
lives
car
in
got stolen though. I'm like, in Boone, really?
So,
dude, what's going on in town, bud?
well, Haley's got stolen in Minnesota, but yeah, that was in Logan's, up by Logan's neck of the woods, I guess. But no, yeah, I was.
It's in my garage.
The funny thing about that was I was talking to Zach about that happening at Farley's because he works for Tony over at Farley's. We were talking about how his car got stolen, and he was the one that put the brakes and everything on Haley's car so she could go up to Minnesota, and then the goddamn thing gets stolen in Minnesota. And I'm like, what in the world?
So now we know the real reason Cody didn't come to my wedding. He was afraid his car was going to get stolen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
was gonna
it's
suggest he
kind of
could
a
lead with
lawless
that.
area up there.
A little bit can be.
But hey, anyway, we better. I'm looking at the clock. We better take our first break. We'll come back with Logan. Have a couple more questions for him. He's got an announcement to make that we're going to add to the Boone Speedway schedule this season when we come back. But right now, you are listening to Watermelons and Woodchips, presented by Central Iowa Diesel Performance. When we get back, we'll talk more with Logan Kelly.
When you go green, precision matters, and that's why you choose Weir's Machine. From suspension components, tools, and data technology, we've changed the game for race teams around the world. Our Ultra Force Load machines are revolutionizing how teams collect and analyze data, while our Circle Track app provides a data storage notebook, giving you the edge on every turn. We're not here to follow the pack, we're here to lead it. American-made, race-tested, Weir's Machine.
Central Iowa Diesel Performance is a full-service preventative maintenance and truck repair center in Ames, Iowa. While they specialize in high-performance applications, they can do fleet repair, engine maintenance, transmission repair, or things such as brakes and electrical. Anything diesel truck related, Central Iowa Diesel Performance is your go-to shop. Check them out at www.centraliowadieselperformance.com.
Welcome back, race fans, from the break. We're still here. Logan's still here. We
I
haven't
didn't
kicked
leave
him,
yet.
We have not kicked him out. But, let's get right into this. So you're kind of, I guess put another check box next to his name, race promoter.
Big L, tenderloin fryer, it's coming.
But
Can you make me a shirt? I'm still waiting for a P1P hat that never got made for me, but
yeah, well,
We know a guy.
yeah, several people are still waiting, I think. But you got a little bit of an announcement to make for your Bumble Bee Nationals.
I
right?
do. This is going to be the 10th year of it. This is the 10th year running the Bumble Bee Nationals. All 9 years up to this point have been ran at, what's that racetrack?
Sleuth.
Kossuth County Speedway in Algona. The sponsor of the event, Extreme Powder Coating out of Blooming Prairie, Minnesota, decided to want to do something different this year. And we worked out a deal with Josh and Cody and everybody here at the Boone Speedway. We're going to bring the Bumble Bee Nationals, the 10th annual Bumble Bee Nationals, to Boone Speedway on June 27th, last weekend in June. As of right now, it's going to be a minimum of $1,500 to win and $150 to start. We're going to try to get that a little higher for the winning purse and then spread that through a little bit. So that'll be a big race for the compacts. We kind of looked at other schedules in the area and picked a night that some of those other local tracks weren't running to be able to try to.
And it actually worked out perfect because when we were looking at the schedule, we didn't end up having anything that night. I think that was the night the mini mods were usually on the schedule, but they're not. They opted out. They're not coming back this year. And that was a decision on that series' part to not come back. I think they just places a little bit fast for him, I think, and a lot of those younger kids just need some seat time on some smaller places. But so this fell right in, and it worked out perfect for us. So
So, yeah, it's going to look a little different than it has in years past. There's going to be a little bit of an entry fee this year just to kind of cover some of that purse. I think me and Josh kind of talked about it's going to cost those compact drivers $50 to get in the back gate that night. A $30 pit pass, a $20 entry fee, and then we'll add that money to the purse, right? And
keep it light, pay the guys at the back. That's kind of what I like to stick to.
That's always kind of been my vision with this race is, it's nice to have a big money race for those guys, right? Because those guys and gals that run compacts don't get to run for that kind of money a lot.
Well, let's be honest here, too. They, I don't know if you've ever been to a racetrack where they have those, on a random night, but they bring 4 to 6 people with them when they come.
Right.
And that's what helps racetracks, and I'll be honest. I mean, they put on a hell of a show.
They do.
There's times where it's like, okay, all right, boys, let's go here. What are we doing? And then there's other times where it's like,
but 80% of the time when I watch them, it is a banger. Like no pun intended. I mean, it's seriously, it's awesome.
100%. I also think that it's good. Some of the events that we go to, the big shows, only pay really good in the top 5. Sometimes not even 5th place isn't that good if it's a 4 or 5 or whatever the scenario is. So I always look at shows. Peyton Taylor gives me shit for not coming down to the Clash on the Coast, and it's like, man, like I love it. Here's how I'm going to support you in doing it. I'm not going to bring a car, but it's because where I live, there's so many shows that pay pay so good that my initial cost of going to it, or just for instance, a lot of the shows that I pick to go to are, man, it's $200 to start. That's pretty good. Like I can go to the racetrack, I can buy my pit pass, I can buy my food, my crew guy stuff, race, and maybe come out with a little bit of money. So that's a big thing for me. So I think that's great that you're trying to spread out that payback, and it's not just all on top.
Well, and when you look at it this way too, and it probably opened your eyes as well when you started doing this, and you're like, man, if we can get these guys an extra $50, and then you start adding that up, and you're like, oh man, I need to find like $2,000 more to make this all work. It adds up fast, and that's where people don't realize, like, it's not just as easy as like, well, this should be 125 to start mandatory or what, like whatever. We've had some of those people come to us and be like, well, we want to have a race here at Boone on Saturday, as part of the series or whatever, but this is what we're mandating. Well, and it's on the track to have to cover that cost, and it's like, do you own a calculator?
Right.
Well, or they show up and they say, well, we want to do 5,000 to win. Okay, well, that sounds great. Well, what do you want to do to start? Oh, that's up to you.
Great, thank you.
That's where the big money's at, is back through the field, and then you got to figure that out.
Yeah, you figure that, it's great to have a $2,000 to win race, but when you figure, are you going to only pay those guys, tow money to start?
Yeah.
Right.
Probably not. And like being able to pay these compact drivers $150 to start, that's more than what they're racing to win on most nights. So that's a big deal for those guys to even make that show. So it takes a lot of effort, and that's why we get started on this one early every year to try to get some backing behind it. And I think by having Boone Speedway involved in that race and having that here will only make that event bigger and bigger.
And it worked, like I said, it works out because we had the date open, right? And then we can just move our one sport compact show that we have a year. Right. We just move it up, in the...
Instead of August, we're going to run that in June.
Right. Yep. So it worked out perfect from our perspective anyway.
Sure.
Now that's a 6-foot trophy, yeah.
I believe we're going to try to do a big trophy and a big check for that as well. So
I know a guy that makes trophies.
We're gonna touch base on this, okay? On this trophy thing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
As a racer, like the little trophies that we this is going to be a kick to the Boone Speedway here a little bit. The little trophies that we get, okay, and even Corey Drips. It's a kick in the nuts, okay? Come on. like I look at all my dad's trophies from back in the day, and it was like, man, that's, the money's okay, but I remember the first year we went to Hancock County Speedway, 1995, when they opened up, and we pull in there, and it was the first night, opening night up there, and we pulled in there, and we had, I'm pretty sure my dad had an open trailer because they were doing the cancer walk here in town. And they had a 6-foot Bud Light had a Bud Light can in the center, and it was like the coolest trophy. And we were all like, my dad's like, we're taking that home. 'Cause that was when everybody was drinking Bud Light then. He ended up winning. We took that trophy home. But today, we're getting a 16 3/4 inch. It's got this little Hot Wheels thing on top, and on the bottom it just
throwing you
says
under the bus here, bud.
Boone Speedway, Moose Lodge, Stock Car A main winner.
Did you get one of those this
I
year?
want one.
Hey, I remember a day though that Lottie wouldn't even give trophies out.
So-
Which was bullshit then. I'm just saying, like,
I got to add to this. So
if you won on Gates Rubber Night,
Yep.
the Gates night, that was like the big deal because it was a 2 pedestal trophy.
Yep.
Because I know Jason had a couple of those, one in the hobby stock, I think, and like that was a big deal because it was trophy night that night.
well,
back in the 80s, 90s, every single winner got a trophy, and they, like you said, they were pretty unique. Then there was this gap. I happened to fall in the gap, and I won 7 features in my career, not one trophy out of all of them. First one was here, and the other 6 were at Stewart. Didn't get a trophy. Then I get out of it. Now they're getting the plastic ones, which I look at and I'm like, well, at least they're getting a trophy. I never got
I don't
one.
mind the plastic ones. They're good wall art
Right.
in the shop.
Sure.
But it's like I go and I look at all these other places like goat carters and stuff like that. And like the stuff that they're doing, okay, like for instance, my dad's trophy that he gets for the first times winners race.
Yep.
It's nothing real fancy, but it's a 4-post thing. It's got a nice little wood deal on it, blah, 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 which I know that this cost deal, it is a little expensive. But that trophy that my dad gets is $60. Okay, now people, before you get all typey happy here, there's 5 classes a night?
Yep.
So that is another expense, but this year, 2026, let's do better. Corey Drips especially, but I mean, an 11-inch trophy. I mean, go-kart kids are getting bigger trophies than that.
So
Hey,
let
at least ours are 16 3/4.
They are 16. I've measured. Okay.
Now Corey's going to go and get 17 inches.
Yeah, no shit. He
And
will.
We're going to have
Yeah.
to go get 18. So
Right.
let me ask you, would this be enough if every class, every week, one class got something a little different? So if we
that'd be
played it
kinda
that
cool.
way, so that way, kind of look at it like our Super Saturdays we used to have, but
Yeah.
we do something different with the trophy.
Right.
The
I don't know.
Super
Yeah.
Saturdays were cool because
were.
you would get a trophy and a little plaque thing.
the plaque.
Like
Yeah,
saying
you got
Super
the plaques on the wall.
Yeah.
So we could look at doing something different for one class per week. Just do a rotation
Right.
through the summer.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there
It's a
as
good
like
idea.
just like a different things. Like to me, I love the trophies.
Right.
Granted, if you are super successful, it's hard to navigate all those into your garage. But we will find a spot, or a lot of drivers give them to kids.
Yeah, I do
Right.
like seeing that. That's really cool.
I've done that multiple times, but at the same time too, it's like, you're adding that to your arsenal.
Yeah.
But that kid is so happy when
Right.
that happens, and
Yeah, I've never seen a
they
sad
cherish that.
kid.
Right.
with a trophy.
right.
Yeah.
But if we
you
could
ever
do a
frowned
little,
on a jet ski?
right? I don't know if we need to talk to Kathy or just directly to Josh here on this, but let's be a little more versatile, or let's see if we can make that happen like that. I think that different, because there's a lot of nights where like Cody's doing something with, okay, the stock cars are 700 to win tonight or whatever, like maybe those nights we can
Do
have
something
something a
different.
little different.
Here's
you
a
know?
wild idea. Maybe the trophy that I'm talking about all year long could be sponsored by watermelons and wood chips.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
We could do something special like that. What do you
That'd
think?
That'd be kind of cool.
Maybe we could.
We're just
figure
going to
that
give you a bag of mulch.
out. Old watermelon Ryan.
Please keep in dry area or could grow plants. I mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah, you can start your garden.
That's right. Yeah. No, we should have a talk about that. Seriously, that is a good idea, and I love the fact that they do the trophies. But yeah, something unique would be good.
Yeah. And a lot of tracks do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of options out there. It's just like, who makes that call?
What do you
is
think
is it
of
you
the
and
checks?
Cody?
What do you think of the checks? Like there are tracks that is their trophy.
Well, I have like 25 checks at my house, and then there's a John Than luge. There's a John.
Was
Than
that one from the
log?
That was one of the ones from the Sport Mod Nationals, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. John Than luge. That's my favorite one. John Than luge.
Was that at the Cliffs County
No,
Speedway?
that was at the Hancock County.
Hancock County Speedway. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I think Chad Meyer still feels bad about that, by the way, because I think he's the one who wrote it.
He does definitely not
Come
feel
on,
bad about
Chad.
it. Just because every time I see Chad, he's like, dickhead. I'm like, Chad. He's like, no, I'm just kidding.
Well, at
I'm
least
like,
we all call you the same thing.
Right.
Consistent.
It's a universal
Right.
nickname.
Yeah, it's good. But that's, Chad, that was the Hancock County Speedway voice of there for a long time. Rewind a second. The guy that's on the mic there that used to do the Hancock County Speedway now moved over to
So he was just
Algona.
there for the one night.
Why?
On the race receiver, you mean?
Yeah.
Dwight Harlan?
Is that who it is?
Yeah, he used to drive
My
the
favorite
track.
thing is
Yeah.
I know Dwight.
Yeah.
he gets on there and he's like, line them up. You know, or like, I just.
half throttle coming to green. Let's go.
Yes, like that.
Exactly what it is.
Yes, and when we were up there for that stock car deal, he was there.
Yeah, he came for that one night just to have an extra set of eyes. But normally up there, it's
Did
the
he just
same-
retire?
Yeah.
Can you come
started-
out of retirement, bud? Really?
I think he helps on a stock car, so he gets out of the official side of
He
it a
used
little
to
bit
come
more.
down here and help Belinda with
correct.
parking.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
International.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all clicking.
But
Yeah. I spent a lot of time out there with him.
he was doing stuff at Mason City for a while because that's where he's from.
Okay.
And then I think that kind of went away too. He might still be doing that over there. I don't
He
know.
was a security. He was nighttime security.
Did
Yes,
a
he
little bit of
was.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did a little bit of everything.
But Dwight, when I first started flagging in Algona, he was there weekly.
Yeah.
Doing it there weekly and doing Hancock County when I flagged there. And then he kind of just got out of it, and it started just being me running the receiver from the flag stand like I do here.
Which pissed a lot of people off.
Why did that piss people off?
I don't know, because you're a dick sometimes.
Maybe I need to be.
When you were
like 69, the yellow flag's been out for a lap and a half.
Well, that doesn't mean you stand on the goddamn throttle for an extra lap.
when you
yes,
say
it
it,
does.
I strictly immediately go, I'm going another lap.
I like it. I always like it when I mouth off to you on the receiver, and then you set it sideways right at the flag stand and
Right.
throw mud at me. I appreciate that.
Right.
So when you were talking about your interactions with Jonathan on the track, I swear one night I think I heard you say, I must be number 11 tonight.
Yeah.
He got both of them off the steering wheel.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had full permits to fly both of them that night. Went to the courthouse and got them earlier that day just because I just had this feeling something was going to happen.
You know, I try to be relatively calm on the receiver most of the time. Yeah, not maybe as calm as Grant is. I don't usually apologize after I throw a fit.
Right.
He does, which good for him. But sometimes you need to, like Emily says, you need to talk to the driver sometimes like she's talking to her first grade class, because that's about the level of attention they're paying.
Well, and sometimes it is.
Yeah.
Literally, in my opinion, yeah. There's times where it's like, but in our defense, sometimes, like, there's been multiple times where my race receiver is like really in and out. But I always try to stop and tell.
Right.
But not everybody remembers that, or they don't even. They're not even worried about what's going on
Right.
because they're focused on whatever else, But I agree with that because there's been times where like I've wrecked or wrecked people in hot laps like an idiot. We're out here hot lapping, guys. What
what
am
are
I
we doing?
What am I doing?
Right. My dad had a few of those chats with me. We don't race in hot laps. What do I do every time? Race.
I've wrecked a
We're
couple
racing.
races.
We're racing. And usually like when the car feels good and you're out there and you just feel like, like Joe Dorn, we got 30-foot rooster tails hitting the catwalk. It's like you're getting
ripping.
it. You're getting it. And then when you get 2 laps, you're pissed because you're like, man, it feels so good.
And hey, and
You know,
hot
if it was
laps-
up to me, you'd only get hot laps on Frostbuster night and Super Nationals. The rest
Why?
of the time, just to piss you off.
Well, see, the reason I say that is because I like to get out there and get all my stuff warmed up. If you've ever been to the
Right.
chassis dyno at Mid-States
Yep.
machine, John gets you get in there, you get the car warmed up, you get all your your
hand signals.
transmission. Oh, but his old man on the hand signals is dangerous. I love it. But you get everything warmed up. So like sometimes when we get out there, like if you're the last car out there and they've already been packing, a little bit and they're like rods ready to go, like, hey, let's go. I don't even I'll get out and I'll drive on the racetrack and drag my brake a little bit to heat my rotors up and get, make sure I got good brakes, make sure, drag the brake a little bit, get a little bit of heat warmed up in that motor if I don't get it, the gauge moved in the pit area before we go out. So, I mean, shit, sometimes there's times where it's like I don't even get my water temp over 160. You know, when it's chilly and stuff, it's hard. Even though, yes, everybody, we put cardboard on the front of it and start it up before the race, or you know what I'm saying. But
Hey,
just so you know, every time you throw the checkered,
I
I'm gonna take that extra whatever it is. I'm gonna. I mean, yeah.
one more corner.
Yep.
I gotta ask too. By the time you guys hit the track for hot laps, that baby's prime. Like she's usually like, horsepower. Let's go, let it eat.
Right, and I like it. You know, a lot of people don't hot lap, and I like to because they're just sometimes it kind of just gets me. I'm already jacked up to be there, so it kind of calms me down a little bit to focus on what I'm doing. But so many things can just happen in a split second and ruin your whole night.
Right.
So if it does it in hot laps, okay, yeah, we got a little bit of time. We might be able to get it fixed here, or we're just done for the night.
Yeah. Or if it doesn't, you're like, we're ready.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you, I mean, just myself, that feeling of being able to drive it pretty much as hard as you possibly can because the track's just tacky. She's not that. There's no other feeling other than maybe like doing that 3 and 4 wide. Like,
wow.
Then it's
if you go out there with Jimmy Gustin and Richie or whatever. I mean, it's almost like they dropped the green for a heat race here.
Yep.
You know,
you watch those guys; they follow each other out in hot laps, and you're like, "I'm gonna watch this."
Yeah,
because
right.
they're like throwing sliders on each other for 2 laps,
and they have been like that since the beginning.
I made the mistake of doing that behind Jimmy Gustin, and you know what he did? He put that thing on the firewall and spit so much I had my visor open. so then I'm like, okay. So if you notice, I don't ever go out there without my visor up. So I did the same thing to Buck, Todd, Jake McBurney, like all your buddies,
along.
Matt, you know, like anybody that you can get sock out, anybody that you can get to, or anybody, you just go up there and just spit all that mud all over. You don't know if you got about a 70% chance of hitting them, but Jim taught me on that one real quick. You don't ever go out behind Jimmy Gustin with your visor up, okay? Noted.
Attaboy, Jimmy.
God, how'd you get a black eye? Didn't have my visor.
Right. I mean, I've come in off the racetrack. We were at Britt one time, and Autumn Anderson broke right in front of me. And I come crab walking into the pit area, and my crew guys are like, "What? We watched you take the checkered, and you were fine." I'm like, "Ugh." I was mad. I mean, I'm crab. So it can happen. So that's why I like to. Yeah, I am. I still am pissed about that. But that was how we met Nate Whitehurst and stuff. We had to use a sledgehammer because it bent the rear end and the pan art bar, and it was
in hot laps.
I changed 3 center links that night at Hang. I was when I was cutting my teeth up there. It was brutal.
Pile of bumpers.
No, I mean, I come in one time to the hot pit area and my left rear brake line got ripped off, and my cousin Michael and Dustin, I'm like, I pull into the hot pit. It was right at the beginning of the race. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, they hold the brake line up in the window net, and I'm like, fix it. I had no brakes, went out, couldn't even, it was just, man, I had a lot of bad times at the Hancock County Speedway.
But you learned a lot.
We learned a ton, and then once I got some traction up there, we won all the big races. The only race that we didn't win up there was the night of 1,000 stars. Won the 10,000, won the Sport Mod Summer Nationals, won the Hobo, all those big events up there. That was when old Joe was up there. I remember the first time I won the Sport Mod Summer Nationals, I got screwed on a start. And I was so pissed, and I went over. And Joe Ringsdorf's known me since I was, a little kid, and I went running up there screaming at him. I'm like, "How do you even start a race?" Logan probably started a shitty race.
I probably wasn't flagging there yet. I didn't flag there when Ringsdorf was there.
2016?
No, I wasn't there yet. So you can get out. You
All
can
right,
get
so
off
it
that
wasn't
high horse.
Logan. Whoever it was.
Whoever
Probably Grant.
I was pissed.
have
Well,
been.
and Joe's like, just relax. Just go out. You got to be main, and pretty level-headed. I go out and I win the B main. Well, I come from 14th, and I pass Bowmeister to win that race. After the race comes over, I mean, we're pumped up. I mean, it was, still the coolest trophy that I got. It's got a little spinner on the top of it, a little star spinner. My crew chief guy, Mike Dustin, wasn't there. So it was like kind of, I was nervous already because him and I started this deal from day one. And Ringsdorf comes up with a flat of tall boys.
Yeah.
sets it on the back of the car, and he comes up and he's like, I knew you could do it. And I gave him a big hug and everything, you know. And I'm like, Joe, I don't even drink beer. You want me to sell this or what? Just take it home with you, you know, or whatever. And that was when I really started having a lot of success up there at Hancock County Speedway.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was cool.
I also had a lot of success at Hancock County Speedway one summer in a compact.
Did you?
Yeah.
I won my first ever IMCA race there.
Really?
Won 6 races that year in that compact, 2022.
Really? Did you win a championship?
I didn't because we only ran 7 nights. So I won pretty much everything we started.
You just call it a championship. Nobody
Won
knows the difference.
won the fair race at Spencer that year too. That took home a 6-foot trophy. That's a badass trophy.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
You
Super cool.
I'm sure you remember them.
They were pretty good. They were good ones.
Oh, yeah.
You never forget your first one.
Well, you did a hobby stock, too.
I ran a hobby stock for a long time. Ran a sport mod for one summer. That was a disaster. That was the worst year of racing I've ever had in my life. I don't know what the hell we were thinking going sport mod racing.
So if you had it to do over, would you just stay in the compact?
You know, people like to make fun of the compacts a lot because, Jesus, they're not a real race car, blah, blah, blah. I had more fun racing that thing after we had a hobby stock for a long time, and then I quit racing, started flagging. Then we got a compact just to dick around with in 2019, went and raced Stewart, went and raced a whole bunch of places with it. And then my dad died that summer in 2019, right after we had bought a new hobby car. And I ran that hobby car for 1 year after that, and just I wasn't into it, didn't want to do that anymore. And a kid in Sioux City was looking at trading turnkey compact program with a whole trailer load of spare parts and everything for a hobby stock roller. I said, well, I can sell you this one here, you know, little extra money for the crate, blah, blah, blah. So we went and switched that. And no matter what you're racing, and I think you can probably all attest to this, no matter what you're running, if you're competitive, you're having way more fun. I had way more fun going out and running second and winning races in that compact than I did running 13th in that hobby car. And maybe I just suck and was just good that 1 year, but that was a really good year, and I had a lot of fun. And if I never win another race again, if I never get in another race car again, I can always say that I had that year. So,
Well, I'll say, like, the compacts to me, they're all race cars, right?
Right.
They are. But the compacts remind me a lot of what the hobby stocks used to be. They're still a junkyard car, right?
It's a stock thing.
car that you knock the windows out of, put a cage in. You know, they do limit the rules to the point where you're not supposed to change, the fuel.
Can't or not supposed to, right?
I'll say not supposed to because my fingers have entered a lot of DQs on them boys at Super Nationals. But
I love it because it's like they're just as cheaters as much as we are.
If not worse.
If not worse.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because they're looking for speed.
Too many tennis balls in that right front. I've seen that a time or two. I'm like, really? You guys do that? They're like, oh, yeah. I mean, we get these special tennis balls shipped in from Belgium. It's a special kind of rubber. And I'm like, when we went to Bristol.
Oh, those are not compacts.
No, they're compacts.
They are not compacts.
Them guys say they're
those
compacts.
are 4-cylinder race cars.
compact stocks.
They are. You know, you take a guy like Nate Koopman to go out there and run, who's won Super Nationals, won multiple national championships, and he looks like he's never raced a car before in his life. He just gets his ass kicked, right? And that just is
they
a
got
testament.
they have mirrors and everything.
Oh, yeah.
In those ones. I'm like, when
They're all
did they allow
gutted.
this?
It's just a body on a cage, a frame, basically.
Yep.
Hey, I will say though, the new nose piece that IMCA approved for the Sport Compact is badass.
pretty sharp.
They look great. Drivers need to figure out how to keep their race cars cool with them, though. That's the biggest complaint with those is that
cool with them, and they have trouble keeping them on too.
They have trouble keeping the engine cool with those noses on. There's just not enough air movement.
See,
We'll quit slamming them on the ground.
and once again, hobby stocks. We didn't used to have nose pieces when they allowed them in the early 2000s. That was the very first thing everybody ran into. Nobody could keep them cool.
Right.
Couldn't figure it out.
But in my opinion, as a builder and stuff, if they're not mounted properly, that's what we do it for a living, and I had heating problems all year, and we just had my nose too low.
You got to get
Just
air
seal it
under
off
them.
too much.
It just had it sealed off too much, and then I had this what was new, but customer backed out on it, and it was not a. I run a Monty body, because I like the rules and it's very easy. They don't mess with you in the tech area about it as much. It's not a built it's a stamped piece from Performance Bodies with all the stuff that goes with it. But I ended up putting a round, newer style Monty nose on it, and it cooled me down 25 degrees.
That's big.
And
It
the
makes a
person
huge
that
difference.
we were at Algona, and Lunenburg come cruising through there because he had a square nose on, and then he went to the round one. I stopped him. We were having a smoke. And I'm like, why'd you switch? And he's like, it cooled me down 25 degrees. I'm like, shut up. No way. Put it on, and no shit, it did.
Yeah.
So I think, but the where I'm going with this is that the Monty thing is great. I just think I had it too low. And I think that probably the compact guys are probably running into that too, that
They also have to remember that they can cut holes in the front of that thing and put
but
screen
it
in there.
sucks.
I know it sucks.
It sucks because then you're clogging your radiator up, like especially at Boone where there's a lot of marbly shit.
It's a fine line.
It is. You can fill your radiator in 2 laps here at the Boone Speedway, and you're screwed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, George Derry used to race at Stewart long time ago, and he told me a long time ago, every degree above 185, losing horsepower. And I'm like, I didn't care. That's some bitch. I'd come in at 280. It didn't matter to me. I was still running.
Needles pegged.
It does make a hell of a difference.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
You can definitely tell a difference once you get over. I mean, I've been over 250 a few times this year. Just King of the Catwalk, prime example. We're having a dog pipe battle there, and it's like we got a couple laps left. I can see the gauge, and I'm like,
Did the idiot light come on? And
no, the light never came on. But see, that's the other
Did
thing.
you have it hooked up?
Oh yeah, I'm dumb. I have to have it hooked up. I'm good with colors, not good with numbers. So
There's a T-shirt.
right, but so it's like I think them. But I was pumped that IMCA approved that MD3 piece. Just helping the class grow a little bit and making them cars look. I mean, because there was some pretty cool looking cars.
Oh, yeah.
Like some badass looking cars
There's
out there.
There's some fugly ones.
There are some fugly ones.
But
Absolutely.
There's some
they
fugly
do-
stock cars though too.
But when
Yeah.
they very first came out in the stock cars, they came out with front wheel drive bodies. Man, were there some ugly cars
God.
until they got it figured out.
Figure out
and
how to
then
mount
They
'em.
started looking sharp.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest. The hobby stocks and stock car bodies. We've never done a sport compact, but it's very similar. I'm sure. Sometimes it's hard to make them look good. Especially using some of the old stuff. Like I'm not sucking on Scott up there at Performance Bodies, but it's super nice to have that at our fingertips.
Suck away, my friend, because they do a really good job.
Oh, they do. Scott. Yeah, Scott's a great guy. Him and Alec. Alec is, in the trenches right now, learning the family business, and Scott has started an empire.
Oh, it's not to interrupt you, but Scott went into the Iowa Racing Hall of Fame
I seen that.
up at Webster City. We were
Bruce
up there.
Bagley.
And yes. Yep.
Man, Bruce, who's ever podcasted with a photographer?
I
that you
did
guys
one
know?
in 20. I did Chuck Stowe, and we had Bruce, I think, on the phone or something. Like they came and sat in, but it was like 2017 or 2016.
Maybe we should get Bruce up here in the chair.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Maybe
want to know
we-
how many pictures he's taken in 35 years.
Good Lord.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
I'm sure.
I can't count that high. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's
Good
cool
with
stuff
colors,
like
but
that.
not with numbers.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. No, that'd be fun.
Here, let's get to our last break here real quick, and then we have to go to the Elmquist Towing question of the week because that was popping off this week. So
Yeah.
on the
That's a banger.
on
Literally.
social medias, yeah, for sure. But all right, we'll go to our last break here on Watermelons and Wood Chips. When we come back, our Elmquist Towing question of the week. This next segment is brought to you by Logue Fabrication, your go-to shop for custom metal fabrication. From residential and commercial projects to auto racing applications, Logue Fabrication delivers quality and precision every time. They're not just fabricators, they're racers too. Proud home to Rage Hobby Stock and Stock Carts you see tearing up Boone Speedway every week. Whether you need a custom railing, a commercial build, or race-ready metalwork, trust the team at Logue Fabrication to get it done right. Logue Fabrication, where craftsmanship meets horsepower. We can help you stand out anywhere with P1 Promotions, the home of P1P Canopy. From the racetrack to the ball fields to trade shows and beyond, our custom pop-up canopies are built to showcase your brand in style, with multiple sizes and full customization available. But we don't stop there. P1 Promotions also delivers custom rugs, apparel, sportswear, trade show setups, and even P1P custom awards that make an impact. You can see all we have to offer at www.p1pcanopy.com. Welcome back to Watermelons and Wood Chips. Still haven't kicked this guy out. I don't know what
Segment
the hell
3, and I'm still here.
Yeah, that's right. But we wanted to get to the Elmquist Towing question of the week, and man, it kind of popped off there on Facebook when we put it up there. What is your best/worst trailers toter experience going to and from the racetrack or hauling a race car? And holy cow, we got a ton of them. And I want to tell this story first because
that's what started it.
Yes, this is what started the whole thing. And there's a couple, but the one that stands out. So my college roommate was Jeff Olson, 2G Sport Mod from Sioux City.
G-off.
Yep. He came down and we lived in Ames together. And when he was going to Iowa State, and we worked on his race car at my parents' house for a while, and then we had our own shop over in Ames. And then we always had to take this thing to over to Rose's. Ryan Rose had to weld on this thing all the time because we were wrecking shit constantly. And so JD Winters was driving the RV, and we had this 1982 Ford Mini Winnie. And this thing, I mean, we blew tires on this thing all the time. I mean, there's multiple stories with this, but this one was the best one. So Gio was at school. He was in class. We had to take this thing over to Boone from Ames, and this thing had a history of vapor locking. And so it was like a Ford 460 motor in it, and it vapor locked all the time. So we're driving, and I told him, and this was the first time JD had ever drove the motorhome, so he's like nervous already. He's scared shitless to drive this thing. And we had an open trailer with the car on it. And I'm like, hey, you just got to stay in the gas, because if you're feathering the gas, it'll vapor lock, it'll pop and bang, whatever. So he's white knuckling this thing, and he's got it to the wood, so it's not vapor locking. And we're driving through, and right about the S curves over here between like West Ames and about where Jed's shop is over at Cruise Construction was right there at the time. This thing starts to fall on its face, and I'm like, hey, you got to stay in the gas. Well, at this time, it had died. And we're on the left side of the road because we were trying to get over back on the right side. Well, nobody would let us over because the thing's like popping and banging. And at this time, it's about rush hour, not rush hour, but people leaving work. So we get stopped, and I'm like, oh, well, just let it cool down, because it was just vapor locking, boiling the fuel. Well, we had electric fuel pump on it, and Gio had replaced several electric water pumps on this, or fuel pumps on this thing, because it would burn them up. Well, we're sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear woof. And I'm like, that sounded weird, Well, then there's like smoke, coming, and I'm like, I think this thing's on fire. Well, when it vapor locked back through the carburetor, and it ignited it. Basically, it lit the foam stuff underneath the hood on fire. And so I'm like, well, just get in here and get the water. Like, we had like water jug, in there. So he's running back there. I'm like, and I can start to see the smoke like getting worse and worse, right? So run back there, unlock the trailer, and we're mind you, we're on the side of Highway 30,
right in front of the racetrack.
Yeah, well, it was right in front of Cruise Construction where it was at the time. And so he gets the water thing out and like douses it, and we're trying to get the hood open, but there's flames coming out of it, starts to come out of it. So we're like, we don't want to really open the hood and feed the flames, So he hits it with the water, and that all goes out. We're like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I think the electric fuel pump, it's stuck on, and all of a sudden this thing just goes woof, and like this thing's on fire now. Like, we're talking. So at this point, we're kind of in a panic, and I'm like, all right, well, there's stuff in that we probably need to get out, because those motorhomes, they're all particle board. So like once it takes off, it's gone. So I get back inside the motorhome. JD's calling. I'm like, hey, call the fire department because this thing's going to like burn to the ground. So actually I called Nate Caruth and he was at the shop. And by this time he runs over with this little tiny fire extinguisher and gets out there. And by this time the whole front of this thing is engulfed in flames. And he's outside running and some guy slows down going by and goes, "That ain't going to put it out, dumbass." and so I go in. So I go inside, and at the time, this is when we had all that 3-wide clothing stuff because we were selling clothes and whatever. So we had a bunch of apparel up top with money and whatever. And I'm like going to reach up to grab this, and at this point in time, this flame blows through the firewall of the. Like, it was like a movie. It literally like just engulfed this whole firewall and shoots between the seats. And I'm like, well, that's it, boys. Like, so at this point, it's just me and JD. My other Angstrom was right behind us, Kyle. So he pulls up. He sees this thing is just totally like, I mean, it's freaking barbecue at this point. So we're like, we got to get the race car off of the trailer. So we unload this race car off the trailer, and we're sitting there, and this thing is just burning to the ground. Well, they had, cars on the other side were going back east towards Ames, and the sheriff, at that point, the sheriff had gotten there, the cops had gotten there, and then the sheriff. So they were letting cars go by. Well, as this thing burnt back, like we had just filled the thing with fuel too, like put gas in the toter. And well, it melted the fuel cap off of the side of it. Well, by the time it got to the fuel tank, it literally caught the fuel tank on fire, and it was like a flamethrower. It shot a flame across the median into the other 2 lanes of traffic. Damn. Like, it was across the whole thing, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, I mean, I'm not kidding. When I say it's like a movie scene, this is what it was like, and it was hot, boys. It was like... And we're like, well, and still at this point, the fire department's not there. And so JD's calling again. He calls the poor dispatch lady. And at this point, I think it's like the 2nd or 3rd time. And like, he is like hysterical, like screaming. I think he was just like, this fucking thing's going to burn. Like, it's going to explode. Like, there's cans of fuel in the trailer. Like, if it gets to the trailer, this whole thing's going to go off. Like, freaking out. She's like, sir, like, they're on their way. And he's like, well, they better hurry the up, like just freaking out. And so anyways, we had this spare tire that was in the bathroom because that was the place for it. We just stuffed it in the bathroom. Well, like they're still letting cars go on the other side, like clear over and this guy on a motorcycle is like, what the hell is going on? Like, he's slowed down, like rubbernecking. Well, right at this point in time, that spare tire in the bathroom had gotten so hot, it exploded, and it blew the whole side. Like, it was like a bomb went off. It exploded, blew the whole side of the back of the RV out, and this thing just launches tire shrapnel across the other side of the highway and hits this poor guy. He's like, he's got the wobbles because it's raining down tire shrapnel all over him. And finally they get there, and Justin Adams, he's still our fire chief in town, and he's like dying laughing because he knew it was us. Like, and so he gets there and he's like, hey, do you care if like we tried this new foam out? And I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit what you use. So like, just put this damn thing out. Well, by this time, this thing has like melted to the ground. Like, there's nothing left. We're just trying to make sure that it doesn't get to the trailer, right? And so they're like putting this whole thing out. So Justin calls Kurt Condon to come pick this up, and he's like, hey, we got a race car hauler. It's like an RV sitting here. And you hear on the other line, you hear Kurt like just hysterically laughing. And he goes, I got one question. He goes, is Cody Malco staying with you? Yeah, sure is. He's like, don't even bill him. I got it covered. And like, this whole thing burns to the ground. It's just the frame, but the headlight stayed on. So the battery was still good in that thing. Yeah. Wow. But dude, so it literally melted that thing. They had to replace the asphalt on the side of the road there because it got so hot. It melted the whole thing.
But you saved the race car.
Saved the race car. Still got it over to Roses and got the Geo bar fixed up in that thing. But dude, I'm not shitting you. It was literally like, it was like something you see like on a movie. Experience
scary.
I'll never forget. It was wild.
Scary.
Yeah. I don't have anything near that good. I used to, we've talked about how I didn't have a pot to piss in when I started racing. We were going home from Boone one night. My buddy Chris's pickup. He loaned me old Blue because I didn't have a pickup that would make it. This thing didn't have brakes, and we would go through it was a 2 stop sign intersection. The cross traffic didn't stop. Well, this thing, it didn't want to slow down anyway, so I decided to just put the hammer down, and we found out how well the car was strapped down to the trailer because we got everything off the ground. Everybody behind us saw it, and that's all they could talk about when we got home. But I never had a trailer with trailer lights either. That was another. Never. I couldn't afford to put the fuel in the car. How the hell can I afford $20 for some
Trailer lights?
Trailer lights. So.
Well, and to add to that, so Gio was, like I said, he was still at class, right? So I called him, and and then he's like, "What is going on? Like, you called me like 10 times. Like, what is happening?" And I go,
"Rigs and
so
pile of ashes."
I go, "Hey, look up to the west." And he's like, "Holy shit! Like, what is burning?" And I go, "The Mini Winnie." And so he did. He was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, she's burned to the ground. Like, that's smoke." So they had this big long line. You know, they weren't letting cars through, and the guy was like, "Hey, you can't come through here." And he goes, "Yeah, that's mine." So like they were like, "Yeah, you better go get that thing." But it was wild. And the radio station that was 105.1, like the rock station, was like, "On Highway 30, we got a barbecue over there in front of Cruise Construction." It was like, it's quite the deal.
My worst one was the very first tow rig we had was a 1986 quad cab 454 dually.
Hell yeah.
Dad bought her for $2,000, and it had like 61,000 original on it. We're traveling around. We've blown tires on it. You know, if you ever blow a right front tire on a vehicle that's that old, every dust particle from 1986 comes out of the dash. It blows the speaker foam. You know, the little holes they used to put in the dash, that blows out.
Oh, yeah.
So we finally get this thing, and we've got clothespins. The vapor lock thing on the 454s were notorious, you know. Well, if we figured out, obviously, if you dump some Cam 2 in there, you know, it won't vapor lock no more because that fuel can burn, you know. Yeah. Well, that's not really ideal. Let's be honest, the 454 drank fuel, especially going to Denison, because it's like this.
Yeah, gallons per mile.
So I thought it was just because it was getting hot. So Joe McBurney hooked me up with this aluminum radiator, and I spent all day. We had the car all ready to go. I spent all day getting this frickin' radiator in there and shit, you know, and we get cruising down the road. I mean, it would get to the point where we had to have the heat on during the summer because it would get so hot, you know, so everybody's riding with their feet up on the dash because the heat's blowing, and we get this new aluminum radiator in there, and we're cruising down the road, not vapor locking, not doing nothing. And I'm like, "Man, boys, check it out. We're fine. I mean, we're not drinking 2 gallons every 3 miles. Like,
cooking with peanut oil."
Yeah, right. We're doing good. We pull into Denison, and this asshole pulls out in front of me. I get on the brakes, and boom, brrr, you know, we slide up to the thing. I'm like, what's going on? You know, like all pissed off. And right before the diner there, the old diner, you get up and you go through town, and you come up to the highway there, and you stop at the highway, and you take a right to go to the racetrack. We pull up there, and I'm bitching to all the boys about that guy, you know, and everything. And I look down, and the temperature gauge is pegged. And I'm like, shit. Start going. It starts like, you know, chugging and shit and everything. We pull into the Crawford County Speedway, and they have their little hut set up and everything, and there's a line. I literally just pull right by, just like this morning, or the morning Snapchats at the school. I pull around, drive by all of the vehicles. People are waving their arms. I'm like, get out of the way. I got to get this thing parked before it just shuts off. We'll figure out how to get home. So we pull in there. We stop. At this point, this thing is literally smoking. I pop the hood open, and it's just like movie shit. Whoosh. You know, it comes up. I'm looking around. I'm like mad. Like, what happened? Well, my dumbass left a little piece of the bracket that I cut out to mount the new radiator in it. left it on there. I looked down. It's literally sticking in the backside of the radiator. So it poked a hole in the radiator. And I'm like, all my crew guys are like, what are we going to do? I'm like, well, first of all, we're going to go get our pit passes and shit. We're going to go down, get some scallop taters and ham down there in the infield because we were parked on the outside of the deal. And there's a parts trailer down there. I'll find something, we'll plug it up, whatever. Let it cool down. I sucked. We wrecked. I find this AlumaSeal stuff. So we pour that in. We get some water poured in there. And it's like still pissing a little bit. I'm like, okay, well, we got to get fuel because we burn all that on the way here. We pull over to the little convenience store. We go in there, and I've always been, you can use coffee or pepper, eggs, whatever. And I'm like, we're an hour and 40 minutes away from home. Like, what do we do? Everybody's freaking out. I'm like, so I go in there and I get a dozen eggs. I got a little can of coffee and a whole thing of pepper. And we're out in the parking lot cracking eggs into the radiator, right? And everybody's like, what are you doing? I'm like, this was before TikTok. I don't know what I seen on, but so I crack all that in there. I pour the whole thing of coffee, the whole thing of pepper in there. We fire it up, boys, and she's golden. I'm like, sweet. We get in the truck, and we're like, I'm babying it, and we drive all the way home, bud. She's just at 210, just humming. No vapor locking, because when it was cool out, it wouldn't vapor lock. We pull into the driveway, and we go to, turn around and back up to the building to unload the car, and the thing just goes... and all this smoke comes out from under the hood, and I'm like, oh, man, what happened? Thank God we're home. Open up the hood, and it's just, dude, it smelled like peppered...
Scrambled
coffeeed eggs.
Smelled like breakfast.
But it was the worst, man. I mean, it just sucked. It sucked so bad. But so then it just turned into a deal that I just knew that it was going to cost me $50 or $60 of Cam 2 every week unless I wanted to deal with the vapor lock thing. Mm-hmm. And my dad we'd buy barrels, and my dad was always Johnny on the spot on knowing how much fuel we're doing and this and that, and he wondered where it was all going. But that was that, and gosh, I have a ton of them. But that was probably one of my worst ones, was just because I couldn't believe how hot it was. When you shut it off and it's like did that for like 2 minutes. It was still just running.
It was still running after you shut it off.
Yeah. Everybody at the track's like, oh shit, what's going on? I'm like, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. We're going to load the car. We're going to forget about what that happens right now.
Got to get scallop potatoes.
I go out and but I'm telling you. Scallop taters and ham at Crawford County Speedway.
You're actually challenging me here. I think I'm going to make a crock pot of them and bring them up sometime so we can have it for the podcast.
I mean, you go ahead, but the lady that used to make those was the county fair scallop tater ham champion.
Sounds like a challenge.
I swear, if they had that at the fair, she won it every year. Because it was that good. Our guy, Tiny Jones, we used to call him the crane operator because he'd have a bag of chips down beside his chair, and my Uncle Jeff would always pull the bag back, so he'd be like reaching back here like this, and he'd bring it up. Just like at the scrapyard. dump them chips in there. And so I'm telling you, that was the first place he went when we went there to Crawford County Speedway concessions.
Hey, challenge on.
And it was a generous portion of scallop tater and ham.
I love cooking, so I might have to throw something together.
Yeah.
But we did get a bunch of these replies on this, and one of them, we got to have our weekly Cam Gruber mention. And
absolutely. He
said that on one of his trailers at Blue Tires so often that he had to put a G60 on it to get home. This is par for the course,
right?
For the bulletproof operation. But yeah, we had 48 comments on that deal. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, there's Cam's, and there was a lot of these, man. Just it seems like it was very common. I mean, everybody that hauls a race car has had an issue.
Let's just be honest. I think every racer can vouch for this. If you have a flat tire on your trailer on the way to the racetrack,
go home.
Put the spare tire on and literally turn around and go home.
There's so many of those stories, but then on the other side of it, I've got friends that came every spare tire they had, every race car tire they had, and they had them on the trailer on the toter to get here, and they got here and they somehow won. Like, so
mine's always been negative.
Yeah,
I've always
yeah.
wrecked or.
In 2006, when Jason was racing for the national points, we had that cube van, and we blew out a tire on the cube van, and I don't know, I think it was a duals on the back maybe. So it was like one of the inner tires blew, and it wrapped when it lost the tread, it pinched the exhaust up, like it folded it up underneath. And we're on our way to Marshalltown, and like we have to go race because we're literally trying to win a national points title. And the wildest sheer luck thing, like this guy comes rolling up and he's got a freaking cutting torch in the back of his truck. And
never be too prepared.
well, it was just a guy that was driving from wherever he was going, and we were on the side of the road, blew a tire, and this, like I said, we were like, well, we're screwed because like we can't drive it if the things, it will blow the motor up. Can't get to the races. And we were already pushing it as it was because we were trying to fix the tire and whatever. And I'm not kidding. This guy rolls up with a cutting torch in the back of this thing. He's like, "Oh, you guys need help?" We're like, "Actually, yeah." Like,
That'd be great.
Hacks the exhaust off, goes out. I think Jason went over there and won the race, and then it helped like lock up our national points because you had to win the track points that night.
Yep.
And it just wild how it worked out.
It's pretty cool. Well, thanks for everybody for commenting on that. And
there's a lot of good ones on the Facebook
there's,
page.
There's a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, and so we talked to Jake. Jonathan and I had lunch with Jake the other day, and he's like, I'm all in on this podcast thing. So thanks to Jake for helping us with the question of the week. So
Towing question of the week.
Yeah,
great addition to the podcast here. I think it kind of engages all of our listeners out there too, to maybe throw out something that there's so many of them stories out there. It was cool to scroll through that and just kind of see what everybody's little messed up situations were.
Yep.
At the Kossuth County.
You know what? Don't make me call Bethera. Have him say it. Jeez.
Real quick, we got to talk about Dallin Murdy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That was pretty big news. I saw that today.
Dallin Murdy doing Dallin Murdy things out there. But you know what? His parents, Don and Damon, have pushed, supported, scrapped, done everything they can. Not even them two, but even the little sister, Dana.
Right. Dana, yep.
They support that kid so much, and Dallin is so humbling and been such a great racer to watch. I think it hits home with a lot of racers in the area that know Dallin personally. Not even say personally, just know him at the racetrack. I mean, he's had a ton of support. And I think that the kid deserves this chance. They've strived for this. I don't know how old he is now, 20? He started racing when he was 3. And to me, Tyler Bruning and gang, they're at Skyline, Iowa located place.
This is a good fit.
Such an awesome fit for him. It's giving me chillies just talking about it. I love racing with him, but hate racing with him. But I also... Damon and I mounted his first race car seat in Damon's race car at Harris Auto Racing.
Yep.
It was like literally putting a child's seat inside of a race car. Like we had to build a special mount and everything. Like Damon and I were literally holding Dallin in this seat in the race car so he could get like his height. And I mean, it was just like, I'm like, geez, bud. Well, you're like 70, 60 pounds or whatever when he started. I mean,
he was a little guy.
Little guy. Yeah. And to see him grow, a lot of people hate racing with him, but just because he's so successful. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a way that he's just been so good, but he's also had a ton of help.
Yeah.
Right.
He has.
It's taken a village of people to get him where he's at. The Chelsea Charger being... one of the all-time great stock car drivers. No, Damon, I'm not sucking on you. I'm just stating facts here. It was cool to put a whoop on you over there at Marshalltown a couple weeks ago because, I used to watch Damon growing up.
Sure.
Damon wasn't always who Damon Murdy is now. You know, as far as one of the stock car all-time greats, I believe he's one of those all-time greats. Dallin becoming one of those all-time greats at a very young age. Everybody says he looks like Davey Allison, and I agree with that.
He does.
Looks
It's
exactly
so
like him.
cool.
It's freaky almost.
So for him to get that with Skyline Motorsports, Fear the Beard, I like to call him the Weird Beard because Bruning's kind of weird in a good way, a good weird.
Dallin's gonna be in car number 13. I read.
Yeah, which
That'll be different.
that's
It'll be
different. It almost makes me feel like a Brett Moffitt thing,
right?
Yeah.
you know, like, but is what it is.
I think the cool thing, at least for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people, is we've all watched this kid grow up. And
Right.
I'm talking from stroller, right? Because Damon and they were always coming, and we just watched him grow up.
Yep.
And it was
Right.
going to be natural he'd be in a car, but I don't think anybody imagined, even his parents imagined, he was going to get in a car and being as successful as he is. He is. The patience he shows and the way he drives a car it's impressive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's very, very methodical, right? And like the talent level is, I mean, it's very deserving that he gets this ride with Skyline because, I mean, obviously, we all know how hard that he's worked at this, and just for him to go dominate in the stock cars like he has, like it's fantastic to see.
Yep.
He's been racing some SLMR stuff, and then modified stuff and bouncing around. So for him to get into this ride is really exciting for me as a fan, right? And seeing him come, race here.
I like
Boone
it.
Speedway,
I like
it's
it.
awesome.
I like it too because we don't have to race with him as much. That's kind of cool. I mean, that gives,
It's like when Ricky finally got his ride, and the
I know.
modified guys were like, "All right, thank God."
Thank
yeah, but then he still comes back and says, "Hey, boys,
Yeah. It reminds you
Don't
who Daddy
forget.
is.
don't forget where Daddy went."
He reminds you every once in a while.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, so Dallin picking that up, that's fantastic.
Yep.
And
one last thing I had a little message from Bob Ross for Jonathan. I talked to him last night. He's been working on Lottie's bathroom project, and it's coming along good. But, he maybe suggested you keep his name out of your mouth.
Yeah. Well, Bob, you know what? That was nostalgic stuff. You're still a part of it behind the scenes. I'm sorry, but also I'm intrigued that you're listening.
He did. He did
must
say
listen.
It. He said it with a laugh and all in good fun. But he said he's been listening. He does like the show. But yeah.
Well, you know what, Bob? When we used to go to Canada and fish, I know you remember. You and Jenny. Jenny's such a sweetheart, his wife. Been involved with the Boone Speedway for a long time. Bob's done a lot of things on both sides.
37 years, he
37
said.
years. That's a long time.
It's longer than I've been alive.
Right. Well, I'm 37. How old are you?
34.
Golly.
I'm just
no
fat for
wonder
my
you're
age.
so different all the time.
The baby in the room.
Right.
Just the
But
youngin.
they've got the girls involved.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
work here at the Speedway. Do a great job.
They come and help
but
out at Super Nationals,
Yep.
and they're Yep.
Bob does a lot of the workings behind the scenes around here now instead of being kind of in the scenes.
Built Jerry's new booth.
Right, which was awesome. I don't know if
it
anybody
was like
got
a dorm room when they got done with it.
Seriously, we go up there and they're like I got mud on my shoes and shit, and they're like in their socks, and Ryan like showing his feet off, doing Ryan things. I'm
Like Jerry isn't
"Gee."
showing his feet off. That's
That's true.
Depends on what color toe paint he's got on.
the old toe paint.
The old toe tapper. But back to that, Bob. I'm probably going to have some other referrals. I mean, I'm just going to say there's going to be some things.
At least you're honest.
Right.
That's right.
Well, on that note, I think that we've covered everything we can. We'll, the other episode be out Tuesday, and
Yep.
Today, what's today? Today is
today's
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah. So
This one will be out. By the time people are seeing this, we'll be
Right.
at home.
So
doing
one more
something.
thing before we really get going on
Yeah.
here. Bill used to wear the 225 springs.
Oh yeah.
That really, really fatigued his calf muscles, so he was able to stand up there for way more hours than you had. Like when he was doing the Super Nationals,
yeah.
but it was one man.
Yeah.
We need you to do better. Emily, we need the pants. We've talked about, Bud, you're usually pretty professional about everything.
Usually.
But we need the pants.
We need the pants.
They need to be red and white, or red and white, or red and yellow.
Yeah.
Like we have a picture. Flip it around. Flip it around.
I looked at the picture.
You see how?
Oh, those are
those
checkered
are the black and
flags.
checkered. See?
Hey,
See?
we could go that
we could
route
do that
too.
route easy, yeah.
We love, he's got the mustache,
Yeah.
you've got the beard. So we're
Do I
covered
just
there.
need to get rid of the beard and have a mustache for summer?
Dude,
Real throwback deal?
can we do a Bill Olson, as long as Bill's okay with it?
Yeah.
Can we do a Bill Olson tribute night where Logan shaves everything but the stash?
You better call Emily and get okayed for that. So.
Oh, she's going to be listed.
Oh, yeah,
I'm sure she's
Oh,
going
yeah.
to listen to this. But
We gotta get
how
the white
cool
golf.
would that
the
be?
white golf hat.
Seriously,
Yeah.
You know a guy who makes hats?
We can get some of those for you.
There you go.
I mean, that would be
Nostalgic.
cool.
It
Do I
really
have
would.
to get bigger flags for that night, too?
I think you should.
Is there a thing there? Is there a thing on that? Is there big flags,
Like a
little flags?
There is. Ours, the ones that we have now are 29 by 24.
Well, they didn't call him Big Bill because he ran little flags.
That's
okay?
right.
Let's be honest with that.
See, we're all pussies now with this nice little light,
I mean, his wrist.
arrows for rods
Yeah.
instead of the big 1-inch dowel.
Don't arm wrestle him, bud. His
No,
wrist
oh,
strength
God,
is strong.
Don't arm
Big
wrestle.
Bills.
He had her.
So anyway,
So, yeah, Emily,
yeah.
we need red pants.
Yep.
Red, yellow.
pants.
Well, it looks like we got options now.
Yeah.
So
we could have multiple nights.
Uh-huh.
let's get her some options to choose from, and then we'll leave it to her discretion since that's what kind of
See, I
what
think
Bill's
that, you know,
wife did.
the black and checker, that would be
that's
super
pretty
does
simple
look
to do
good.
that.
But-
we could do that.
The white, there was something about the white, red, and yellow.
That's true.
It was just like
and they said
With the
Boone
white
Speedway
hat.
down the
Yes.
side.
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna
Lightning
find
bolts.
that picture.
She
Grant
is gonna
had it.
she is gonna fire up the cricket here, and we're gonna have
Yep.
some fun
Yep.
shit coming in
Hey,
in the spring.
I'm all for it.
She
We're all for
she
it.
did say that if you're wearing them, we're all wearing them. But I'm all right with that.
She asked for Jonathan's to be extra tight though, so I don't know what that means, but
Oh,
Look out.
she did touch your wood once.
It was at the pit shack in front of Tommy.
This is not bullshit. This is 100% true. Well then, on that note,
On that note.
Thanks for coming, Logan.
Yes,
Yeah, thank you.
We
we'll
appreciate
do this
it.
again because
Yeah.
we have a lot of stuff here that we didn't get to today.
Sure.
So
Yeah, no, we sincerely appreciate you driving down here to join us, and
the Prius got good mileage today.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's awesome.
Well,
Well,
and a big announcement for the Bumble Bee Nationals
Yeah,
too. That's a
absolutely.
cool deal.
I'm really excited about bringing that here and continuing to grow that into something bigger than what it is already.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of compact drivers that'll be happy about it too.
Right, and it
Oh, there'll be some pissed off ones. Let's not be.
there will
sure.
be.
Let's
and
not be for real here. Or
you know-
there's going to be some pissed off keyboard warriors out there. Oh, another big event at Boone Speedway. Well,
There's a reason.
just saying.
trying to race at a rock concert, man.
That's
Gotta-
right.
Got to have the big stuff. So,
That's right.
but hey, thank you, Logan.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jonathan and Josh. Again, another one in the books, and we're just going to keep plugging away. But I want to thank Central Iowa Diesel Performance, Weir's Machine, and Elmquist Towing for helping us out, keep this thing alive. And if anybody wants to join those guys, feel free to reach out. we are open to having more partners with us on watermelons and wood chips. But again, thank you.
Yes.
We will see you guys next week on watermelons and wood chips. See ya.